California is actively trying to fight against your First Amendment right to public information and to root out fraud by proposing this act dubbed by the critics called the Stop Nick Shirley Act.
Read the language yourself. It is plain English. First Amendment lawyers are appalled by this. Journalist organizations are appalled by this. This is an infringement on the First Amendment rights of individuals and journalists to go out and uncover fraud.
That was California Assemblyman Carl DiMaio talking about what Democrats are trying to do to independent journalists like Nick Shirley, who's exposed millions of dollars in hospice fraud in California. But Democrats want to put a stop to all that honest reporting and make it illegal to investigate immigrant-run businesses there, meaning Democrats would rather the fraud continue instead of stopping it. Carl DiMaio is the California State Assembly member you just heard from. Nick Shirley is the independent journalist that the left wants to silence. Great to have you both here. Mr. Assemblyman, it's called the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Have you ever seen anything like this in your political career?
Well, we see a lot of bad bills in California because these people are bat blank crazy. But this one is near the top of the list of the outrageous bills because twofold. It's unconstitutional. It attacks our free speech rights of citizen journalists to go out and do research and share that with the public. But secondly, it's designed to cover up the fraud that's costing California taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars since Gavin Newsom went into office in 2018. The Democrats benefit from the fraud machine that they have built because a lot of that fraud goes to their campaign contributors and left-wing political organizations. So they're trying to silence people like Nick Shirley, who are doing a marvelous job shining a light and uncovering the corruption with our taxpayer money.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're trying to protect themselves. They're trying to keep themselves in power because when they let this fraud happen, when they let these people establish these businesses, it's like what? Certain buildings with this hospice fraud going on, they have 14 or 15 hospice businesses registered, and the recovery rate of people actually getting out of hospice in California, a lot of these places, is around 80-90%, when on average, about 12% of people get out of hospice. You know, they don't die in there. And obviously, as we all know, hospice is where you go to make yourself comfortable when it's very certain you're going to pass away from an illness or some other thing, right? So, of course, these people that get these kickbacks, they're going to vote for the people that give them the kickbacks or otherwise allow them to keep their fraud ring going, keep themselves getting this money in. They're just looking the other way because they're being kept in power by these people, and it just continues and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's the taxpayers who suffer. It's the legitimate businesses that have legitimate hospice businesses that actually care and actually have real patients that actually have real conditions and whatnot that put them there in the first place.
I think one of the most important journalists in the country right now. Nick, good to have you back. The Democrats claim that you are not doing journalism, but that you are doxing immigrant-run businesses. Take a look.
If MAGA can't tell the difference between journalism and doxing, that's on them. Because under my bill, there are no provisions related to journalism or fraud. This bill does not infringe on the First Amendment.
Okay, so Nick, let's forget about the word journalism. Aren't you just exposing fraud that's costing taxpayers millions of dollars every year?
Yeah, she should probably go talk to her husband, who tried to take credit for going after the fraud just a week ago.
That's a good point. Hold on. Can you tell us who her husband is?
Her husband's the Attorney General of California. So meanwhile, you have the Attorney General who's trying to take credit for cracking down on the fraud. And now you have his wife who's trying to make it illegal to expose the fraud.
Mr. Assemblyman, is there anything to that? I mean, that can't be a coincidence, what Nick just said. He's got his wife proposing a bill that would make his job easier. Now he doesn't have to look into the fraud if this bill makes it to Gavin Newsom's desk. That's Rob Bonta right there that we're showing.
Yeah, this duo have no shame. Bonta won't prosecute criminals. He goes and harasses churches, parents, citizen watchdogs like Nick Shirley. And Mia Bonta, the assembly member, she continually introduces bills to fund left-wing political organizations, take tools out of the hands of law enforcement, dox law enforcement agents. They are an absolutely despicable duo, and she is lying. Her bill clearly silences citizen journalists. We handed out the language yesterday on the assembly floor, and even the Democrats were shocked that the language was crystal clear. It makes it illegal for people like Nick Shirley to capture fraud on video and then post the video on the internet without massive court and legal liabilities.
Okay, but Nick, it's okay to dox you. Okay, that seems to be what they want to do.
What do you think about the Stop Nick Shirley Act?
I think you're a psycho scam artist.
They don't want to end their fraud racket. A lot of the politicians, they benefit from the political organizations, and so they want this racket to continue. They don't want the truth to get out.
Stop fraud investigations, but you're the one who signed off and you're a co-author of it. Here in California, they are trying to pass the Stop Nick Shirley Act. The official title of this bill is AB 2624, and today we're going to be confronting the legislators that are trying to pass this bill. And if this bill were to get passed, instead of going after the fraudsters, they're trying to make it criminal to go after the people that are committing this fraud. For instance, it would become criminal to film and reveal info on taxpayer-funded immigration services like healthcare, which would include daycare, hospices. It also covers counseling services, translation services, and immigration legal services. So for instance, if the Quality Leering Center was inside of California, it would be illegal to expose them. It would make it illegal to film government-funded NGOs. And this bill essentially wants to shield the info of immigrant support services from the public. So your tax dollars, you'd have no idea where it's going because it would then become confidential, and you would not be able to see how much money that NGO is getting if it's going towards immigrant services. And what makes this bill...
So yeah, right there, in this video here, Nick Shirley is talking to and confronting these legislators, the people who co-authored or authored the bill. A bunch of them just, I don't know about that bill. Oh, that bill doesn't say that. Oh, you'll have to talk to somebody in my office. But they're the ones who's co-signing. So are they actually reading what they're co-signing? Or chances are they're just trying to be dismissive of Nick Shirley here. Another thing is, it's hurting the taxpayers, as I said before. And there's this whole threat of doxing, right? You're going to bring harm to these immigrants who are just trying to earn a living, who are just trying to help people, right? I've never seen Nick Shirley in any one of his videos go and just try to barge through someone's door to get an interview. He's gotten all of his information through public records, because when you're a business, you have to register, you have to put your name on there, especially to get these kinds of funds. And you know, if you're operating out of your home, then those two addresses are one and the same if you're using your home address as your business. So if they don't want Nick Shirley to come to these people's homes, then don't have your business in a home. Put it in a building, like some of them are, but there's a lot of these people that have these kinds of quote-unquote businesses in their homes, like the daycares and whatnot. Nick Shirley goes on here and talks about when he confronted these people about this bill, AB 2624, that they lied about authoring the bill, or they couldn't justify the bill, as I was saying, and they acted like they didn't know about the bill. Of course, that's the Democrats' classic trait of passing someone off, just ignoring them or giving them enough time to get down the hallway into the elevator so they can run like cowards, is to say, I don't know, or be dismissive or be on the phone. Let's see what it's saying here, right here. Let's see this.
AB 2624, why would you sign off on that? It's a direct violation. Here's one of the authors of the bill. How are you guys doing? We just want to ask you about the bill and why you guys would pass this bill that really is an attack on free speech.
I am not even sure what you're talking about.
Really?
You said an author. I don't think.
Yes. Did you sign to pass this bill?
The author's right up
AB
there.
26?
No, I don't
24?
know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You do not.
No,
Are you
guys
serious?
are just talking about something.
We're talking about something random. Okay. Sasha, how are you doing? We just want to ask you about the bill AB 2624. Why would you sign off on that? It's a direct violation of the First Amendment, and it makes it harder for people to expose fraud here.
We have Ledge Council. They check the constitutionality of all our bills as we're writing them. I work on fraud issues. You'd know that if you look at some of the work I did on the budget subcommittee.
Amazing. So Mia Bonta, her husband's Attorney General of the Attorney General of California, and it was only until I exposed fraud that they actually cracked down on the fraud and made some arrests here, especially with the hospices. And do you know that if this bill were to pass, it'd make it illegal for someone to go after fraud, especially if it's based off of immigrants, for instance, Armenians in California?
No, I think that that's a misinterpretation of the bill, but I'm happy to talk with you more about it. And fraud and investigations into fraud are something that's been happening for a very long time. The Attorney General handles those cases. This is an ongoing issue.
It's a little weird that the wife of the Attorney General, Mia Bonta, is now pushing this bill that literally goes against the First Amendment.
No, I actually don't. I don't think that this bill violates the First Amendment. I mean,
really?
that's the whole purpose. We have Ledge Council and Ledge attorneys that talk with us about this. Constitutionality is really important to the work.
So your bill criminalizes publication of images recorded in public. Do you believe the government has the right to punish journalists for filming in public space?
No, I think that is a complete misinterpretation of actually the...
Is it though? Journalists, that's really what it's all about. Going into these public spaces. Like I said, not barging into private homes, but seeing someone like this out in public, asking them questions, interviewing them, that kind of thing. Going to protest, filming that. This bill will criminalize, hey, let's see this, exposing fraud. It violates the First Amendment, as Nick Shirley was saying. It protects these non-governmental organizations that help fund the fraudsters or are established by the fraudsters to perpetuate their scams. Of course, from disclosing taxpayer dollars as well as what I just explained. And these politicians see no problem with it because they're benefiting from it, because it's keeping them in power to allow these people to happen. What happens, Nick Shirley?
And what they've been doing.
They're trying to take away, like, for instance, if an NGO were to get money from the government, they're trying to make that information confidential. Meanwhile, people constantly try to dox me, and you can dox law enforcement. Like, they've actually made it easier for law enforcement to get doxed inside the state of California, but they won't let the information of taxpayer dollars that's going to NGO be released to the public, which is supposed to be for the public.
And how has your life, Nick, changed in the last year?
Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, especially with everything that I've exposed, I mean, the fraudsters get really upset, right? Right now, you have people trying to pass bills to make me look like a criminal for exposing the fraud that they've let go inside their state. And and
you've had to hire private security, right? You've had death threats. You've had to hire security, correct?
Yeah, like death threats. You have to go anywhere. Security. It's not necessarily fun, to be honest.
No,
just for exposing this stuff. You think the politicians would be celebrating? The people are celebrating. The politicians are not. And that should tell you everything you need to know. When I go to Sacramento, I can't walk around the Capitol without people wanting photos because they're so happy of the work I'm doing. But the politicians.
So that's the thing, right? You go out there, you try to expose the truth, you try to help people. And yeah, you get appreciation, but you also get people, a few crazy people trying to find out where you live, trying to threaten you because they believe the lies that the media is saying that Nick Shirley is harassing people and that he's exposing the danger. And this bill that this Assemblywoman Mia Bonta is proposing is making him look like the villain, right? Making Nick Shirley and others like him look like all they're doing is try to ruin people's lives, trying to ruin these hardworking immigrant people's lives, and essentially, not quite, but putting them up on the same pedestal or level with ICE, right? There's only a certain amount of time before people call, if not already, I haven't seen anything, but there's a certain amount of time before people equate Nick Shirley to a Nazi. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and keep watching for more videos.